CredibleHulk here, and the first thing we're going to be going over in this video is the gas generation portion of it, where we've already built a little bit of a farm and we're wanting to actually produce oxygen and hydrogen to fill our oxygen bottles and hydrogen bottles. The hydrogen is what we're going to be using to get out of the atmosphere, so we're going to need to harvest it from the ice. The oxygen is going to be a little bit of a different story. We're going to put the oxygen bottles in, and we're going to put a vent in, and we're just going to suck the oxygen out of the air and put it into our bottles. So remember our little L shapes that we made when we did the base layout for the farm, and we're just going to use those to convey our oxygen and hydrogen into our bottles above, as you see where I placed them, and we're putting the vent here on the end where it's going to be sucking the oxygen out of the air, and that is our oxygen generator that we're attaching. If you notice, we're lining up all of the doorways like we discussed before, because we need those doors all to line up to be able to feed things back and forth using the conveyor tubes and the conveyors. And we time-lapsed filling everything in because I didn't want you guys to sit around and be bored while I'm gathering parts and just building the stuff. So as you can see, we're plugging along, and we got the tubes and everything set up, and we're now going to come over and show you how to get oxygen into your oxygen bottles without using the ice. We simply go to any control panel, we go to the air vent, and okay, I'm showing you that there's no oxygen right now because we don't have the oxygen generator doing anything. And we're going to turn the depressurize on. Once you enable depressurization, it's going to start sucking the air out of whatever's there. And you can see that the oxygen is going up in our oxygen bottles. And once that hits full, that's when we're going to transfer our ice over to our oxygen generator, because we don't have any ice right now. So the next thing is we're going to expand our power generation. As you saw in our last video about recycling, we recycled a bunch of parts and we were able to fill everything in. So now what we're going to try to do is we're going to make it to where we have more solar panels exposed to the sun. And right now all I'm doing is I'm building scaffolding so that I don't have to use my jetpacks to fill stuff in the whole time, even though we are now going to be getting hydrogen. But we're just going to come up and we're going to place our solar panels on top, and then we're going to start filling them in. And again, we're going to time-lapse the video to where you don't have to sit around and wait for us to fill everything in. It should be pretty quick. And the reason how come you want to get more solar panels is to produce more energy. Since we haven't harvested any uranium, our only energy source is going to be the sun, which is why I like to play with sun rotation turned off, because I need as much sun as I can to store power. Because once we start building our exploration ships, they're just going to be battery powered, and we're going to have to plug them in to charge the batteries, and in order to do that we're going to need to have all of these solar panels in place. So we finished building the solar panels, and we're now going to just place some batteries, because we're going to expand our battery power, our battery packs. We're not necessarily going to fill them all in because we don't have the parts to make all the power cells required, but we do want to make the placeholder and fill the rest of the parts in. And we just line them up the same way that we did the original 3, and then we just fill them in. But like I said, we don't have the power cells right now, I don't think. But now we're going to go with the mining tower. We're building the mining tower because we don't have anything to drill with. So this is the way that I like to set up my mines at first, because a lot of people like building mining ships, and they mine with it, and they come over here and they do this and do that, and they find the ore. Well, we did that when we flew over here, is we found the ore that we wanted, and we want to mine right next to our base. So in order to be very efficient in time management and getting the most resources quicker, we're just going to build a drill press. And you'll see what I'm talking about once we're done. So we're just going to lay down the stairs for us to be able to get up and down to the top of our drill, which is going to be our mine. And as you can see, we time-lapsed it because it's a tedious task. Whenever we get to important parts I want you to be able to pay attention to how we're setting things up, I slow down the video. And if you notice here, I also had to go up a little bit more, and that's because in the preliminary I put down three, what are those things? 3 pistons, and then tried to put the drill on there, and it wouldn't fit, so I had to go up just a little bit more. In order to do that, I just rotated to the left and put down some more base, and then went up. And then we're just going to build a 3x3 drill attached to those pistons, and that's going to be our our drill press to set up our mine. And we're not going to see the actual mine itself. We're gonna drill it, and we're going to show you the hole that we're tunneling, but we're not going to actually build the mine in this one. The mine's going to be in the video called the mine expansion, because we're actually going to build an elevator, and we're going to be able to take our mining craft up and down the different layers that we're going to have. It's going to be pretty big, and it's going to be probably a pretty long video, so you'll have to bear with me. But this video was originally like 26 minutes, and I got it edited down with time lapsing, so hopefully I'll be able to get the other ones down too. I do have it to where I can have more than a 15-minute video, but I know that a lot of people, if they're like me, their attention spans don't really like sitting there watching videos like this for extended periods of time, so I try to keep my videos relatively short. What we're building here is we're just building little rings, little platforms to us to be able to stand on and walk on, to be able to fill the parts in without using our jetpacks, because we like to conserve as much hydrogen as possible. And it's just a walkway for us to keep going back and forth. Now you will see that I continuously fall off of them though, because for some reason the dynamics don't help me out that much. And again, we're time lapsing the part fill-ins, and gotta make sure to get every little thing, because the pistons aren't just the pistons, but they're also the piston and the piston connector parts. So you have to make sure to get both parts of the piston in order for it to work properly and transfer your cargo back and forth. Although this is a little confusing with the fill-ins, but you saw the way that it was built, and the fill-ins is us just running around and putting our welder to it. And we should be doing the finishing touches pretty soon. Okay, and now we're going to put in the last 3, because we want to do a 3x3. That way we can go down, because if we were to go down now, those last ones up there would hit, and we don't want anything to hit. Once we have the drill, if you notice, it doesn't go anywhere though, because it'll suck it into those drill bits, but it's not going to go anywhere. So we have to connect our pistons to our cargo and our refinery. So we're just going to build a little conveyor tube that goes all the way from the top of our drill press into our processing plant. And it's a little bit tedious of a task. Yeah, I like to say the word tedious, I apologize. But if it's tedious, you know what I mean? I enjoy conveyor tubes, they help out a lot. Of course, it's kind of a no crap saying. The trick is to always keep your angles as sharp as possible. That way you're not wasting materials building too many conveyor tubes, because I mean the least amount you can build, the more other things you can build, if you know what I mean, because you're saving on parts. The only thing I don't like about having to do this is using my jetpack. I like saving energy as much as possible, but instead of building a whole bunch of scaffolding, I just decided to wing it, since I should be getting, with as much ice as we're going to be harvesting using the drill, we should not have to worry too much about our jetpack, our jet fuel. So, and we're time lapse filling everything in, and it should be connected. Okay, once it turns yellow, that means that everything has power, and you should be able to feed back and forth. Oh, I forgot about these. I'm going to fill these in before we can use the drill, and you guys will see how amazing this is. Instead of running all the way back, I just used another drill piece to pull the parts from, since it's connected. And we are now going to start the drill to show you how it works. I don't know if you guys have played Space Engineers on your own and you've built your mining ships. It's generally easier to fly into your asteroid or whatever you're mining at 0.1 meters per second. You want to try to go just that slow. That way the drill bits have a chance to keep up with the amount that you've drilled. If you go any faster, you might damage your drill bits. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight all the pistons. We're going to turn them all off so that while we're messing with the velocity, they don't activate. We're going to turn the velocity down to -1. That way they don't expand yet. We're going to turn them on, and we're going to reverse them one at a time. And we're going to time lapse it that way. Now, like I said, this is time lapsed. This is us drilling. And we should be getting a pretty penny. Decent amount of materials here. And instead of getting out and looking every single time, as I was showing just then, you can go into the control panel and you can just look and see how far down it is, how far away your pistons have traveled. And once it reaches 10, it's at its max. So you just go to the next one and you click reverse, and it'll start dropping it. And you can see we just come down into our mine shaft, and it's dark. And since we don't like the dark, we're simply going to make some... oh, I forgot those were in the build queue. We're just going to make some... what are those things called? Construction components, so that we can make some lights. And we can light up our life. Oh, you can see we have ice coming in. And stone, we've hit stone. Okay. So there's now, we're no longer just in the ice layer, we're in stone. Hopefully we'll be hitting iron soon, and we'll be able to use that to make other parts. And if we don't hit iron, we don't hit another thing, there is the mod that is the gravel reprocessor that I have, or the mineral extractor, that's what it's called. It's called a mineral extractor, and it takes the stone, well, it takes the gravel. Once you refine the stone into gravel, it'll take your gravel and it'll turn it into other ingots that you need, like iron, silicone, nickel, anything you need. I don't like using it because I think that it's cheat mode. However, in a pinch, it's nice to have. I really, like I said, I don't like using it, but if you need it, you need it though. So, oh crap, our drills are filling up too much, so we're going to make a large cargo container, and we're going to put it in our... ooh, our lights are flickering. We need to turn the batteries on. I bet you that's what it is. But anyway, we're going to put that cargo container somewhere in the loop. That way it can collect all of the raw material ore that we are processing, or pulling out of the ground. So we're going to turn the batteries on, so now everything's a steady flow. And we're hitting rock, and more rock. And that's it, we've hit rock. Nothing but stone. And ice. That's great. That's awesome. I pulled out the drill bit, the hand drill, that way I can see, and there's no minerals over here. Sweet. Okay, so looks like I'm going to be building a mineral extractor and moving the drill press. But this was the Credible Hulk. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and share. In today's adventure, we covered everything that you saw earlier. This is going to be where I'm going to start doing my introductions and reviews of what the story shows. This was just a little preview.